Water is the source of all life on our planet, a precious and essential resource that sustains every living thing. But access to clean and safe water is still a major global challenge. In 1996, only 51% of the classified rivers in the Philippines met the standards for their most beneficial use, and domestic wastewater was the main cause of organic pollution. Despite this, only 3% of investments in water supply and sanitation were going to sanitation and sewage treatment. Metro Manila had the second lowest sewer connections among major cities in Asia. And polluted waters were responsible for the 31% of illnesses in the country. A comprehensive strategy to protect water quality was necessary, and this led to the implementation of the Clean Water Act. The Philippine Clean Water Act of 2004, or the Republic Act No. 9275, aims to protect the country's water bodies from pollution from land-based sources such as industries and commercial establishments, agriculture, and community or household activities. It provides for a comprehensive and integrated strategy to prevent and minimize pollution through a multi-sectoral and participatory approach involving all the stakeholders. Management of water quality will either be based on watershed, river basin, or water resources region. Water quality management areas with similar hydrological, hydrogeological, meteorological, or geographic conditions which affect the reaction and diffusion of pollutants in water bodies are to be designated by the DENR in coordination with the National Water Resources Board. All owners or operators of facilities that discharge wastewater are required to get a permit to discharge from the DENR or the Laguna Lake Development Authority. No effluent from any point sources shall be discharged into Class AA and SA waters. No effluent shall cause the quality of the receiving water body to fall below the prescribed WQG in accordance with its classification. No person shall discharge wholly or partially untreated or inadequately treated effluent directly into a receiving water body or land through bypass canals and or pumps and other unauthorized means. No person shall use submarine outfall or any underground conveyance as means of discharging effluent except when all the following conditions are met. Effluent is compliant to the GAS set forth in Section 7 of this order. The receiving water body is marine water in order to protect the aesthetic requirements of shorelines. The needed infrastructure for sampling treated effluent is constructed above ground prior to conveyance. No person shall build, erect, install, or use any equipment, contrivance, or any means the use of which will conceal and or dilute an effluent, and which otherwise constitute a violation of any provision of these regulations. No establishment or source of water pollution shall be operated without the pollution control facilities or wastewater treatment system in good order or in proper operation. No establishment or source of water pollution shall be operated at capacities beyond the limits of operation or capability of the wastewater treatment facility to maintain the effluent quality within the standards of pertinent conditions required by law and or stipulated in the wastewater discharge permit. No new industrial plant with high waste load potential shall discharge into a water body where the dilution or assimilative capacity of the said water body during dry weather condition is insufficient to maintain its prescribed WQG according to its classification. Individuals or organizations found to have committed prohibited acts such as discharging untreated wastewater into water bodies may face fines ranging from 10,000 to 200,000 pesos for every day of violation. Failure to undertake cleanup operations willfully may result in imprisonment of 2 to 4 years and a fine of 50,000 to 100,000 per day of violation. If failure or refusal to clean up leads to serious injury or loss of life or irreversible water contamination, the penalty is imprisonment of 6 years and 1 day to 12 years. and a fine of 500,000 pesos per day of violation. In cases of gross violation, fines of 500,000 to 3 million pesos may be imposed and criminal charges may be filed. The Clean Water Act requires anyone who discharges wastewater into a water body to pay a wastewater charge. These charges will encourage investments in cleaner production and pollution control technologies to reduce the amount of pollutants discharged. Effluent trading per management area will also be allowed. Rewards will be given to those who discharge wastewater that is better than the water quality criteria of the receiving body of water. Fiscal and non-fiscal incentives will also be given to those who undertake outstanding and innovative projects in water quality management, including LGUs, water districts, enterprises, private entities, and individuals. Reducing the potential for water contamination needs to be top of the agenda for mining corporations. Mining Global explores a number of techniques including intercepting and diverting surface water by building upstream dams to reduce the potential for water contamination from exposed ore and waste rock, recycling water use for the processing, which reduces the volume of water requiring treatment, driving cost savings and efficiencies across the board, capturing drainage water from precipitation at the mine site through the use of liners and pipes, and directing the water to tailings dams in order to prevent potentially contaminated water from entering groundwater or flowing off-site will help with the water management. Allowing the water to evaporate in ponds to reduce the volume of contaminated water so that no water needs to be discharged, resulting in the containment of contaminants at the mine site. And lastly, installing liners and covers on waste rock and ore piles. These will reduce the potential for contact with precipitation and contamination of groundwater. A different combination of strategies can be applied depending on the mine site. Philippine mining companies show outstanding strategies in terms of water quality management for years. Among these companies are Ryutuba Nickel Mining Corporation. To protect water quality, RTNMC maintains and regularly monitors ground and surface water quality by defining and strategically installing drainages to direct water flow and ensure no silted water escapes from the area, designing pit walls and slopes to prevent rapid erosion that might escalate siltation, and installing boulder tows as protection in large stockpiles. The Ryutuba River is regularly monitored to meet water quality standards, and an aquatic biota and coastal resource assessment is annually conducted to determine the impacts of mine operation on aquatic life and coastal resources. Oceana Gold Philippines Inc. Series of seal traps and sedimentation or stealing ponds in strategic locations to minimize silt directly flowing to the adjacent river, especially during precipitation. Adoption of a vehicle washing on designated area only policy, which strictly implements washing in designated car wash bays equipped with oil and water separators. Carmen Copper Corporation. The company installed and maintained settling ponds and water treatment facilities to ensure that all rain runoff and effluents are properly treated prior to introduction into river systems traversing the mine site. A regular water sampling is conducted to monitor quality of water flowing from the facilities. And lastly, through its liquor plant and reclaimed water pumping system, CCC recovers water for reuse in its operations. From the calming sound of a bubbling brook to the awe-inspiring power of a roaring waterfall, we are all responsible for safeguarding our most precious resource for a sustainable future. So let's work together to ensure that it remains clean, abundant, and accessible to all.